Welcome back. 2008 Hyundai Elantra 2.0. I think it's a 2.0 liter, 4-cylinder. Got towed in, dead battery, alternator belt broken, gone basically, broke right off. So we're gonna replace this belt. I had the battery on charger all night. It was just completely dead. It's charged up now. I'm gonna put a belt on this, and then we'll check the battery out and make sure it's okay, and get this thing squared away. I don't know why the belt broke, no idea, but it needs to be replaced. So I didn't find any locked up pulleys or anything like that. I just reached down my hand, kind of turned the alternator pulley. It's just on this is alternator, water pump, and crank. There's multiple belts on this car. So water pump turns freely, crank, I expect that to turn freely since it runs. And we'll just replace the belt on this. Looking down at the alternator, right here, there's a bolt. This is towards the passenger side of the car, this way. The bolt here that has to be loosened up, 12 millimeter. I try to do this without blocking everything. Kind of hard to film this. I sprayed this down yesterday with penetrant because I know that these have a tendency to seize up and break. So you got to loosen this bolt, and then we have an adjuster bolt. I don't take it all the way out, but I have to loosen it so I can move this. I've got to loosen the pivot up on it. I'm sure there's another pivot probably underneath the alternator here down the bottom that I'm probably going to have to loosen up as well. Let me look and see if I can find that. This might be a little tough to see, but I'm kind of peeking up from underneath the front of the car, right above the oil filter. Hopefully you can see it. I think you can. And right above the oil filter, there's a nut on the back of the alternator. Let me see if I can get it. There it is right there. Just see it? Right above the blue oil filter. You see how I just kind of backed that up and loosened it. I backed it off. You have to do that, and then once you do that, you can pivot the alternator and make your adjustment. And you can see I can move that now. I can push that all the way in if I need to, which I will, because it'll make it easier to get the belt on there. And then we'll pivot that bolt back down. It's probably going to be a little difficult to show you much of anything, but here's the belt. You can get your part number. At least this is a Gates belt. Alternator, water pump, and crankshaft pulley. Of course, you can't see the crankshaft pulley, it's down the bottom, but fortunately on this car, you can at least get the belt in there. So we're going to get it around the crank. I know you can't see any of this, I'm just going to fight with it. See if I can get it on here. There it goes. I think it went right on. It's a matter of getting in the right position. Wow, that actually went right on. I hope you can see this. There's this pivot bolt. I've got to get that pivot bolt on the other side of that bracket. I'm going to push the alternator back out, swing it back out, I hope. Try to. I might have to back this out some more. Okay, now I'm in here. That's where I want to be. Now I'm going to have to tighten that up to tension this belt. 12 millimeter as well. Hopefully you still see what I'm pointing at. Yeah, right behind the dipstick tube here. Get this out of the way so you can see. So, right here. That bolt. We're going to tighten that. As we tighten it down, it's going to pull this block that way. I believe it's 12 millimeter. It's snugged up here. You gotta reach underneath here to reaching down to the bottom gap just to feel the belt down the bottom. At least trying to. See how tight it is. That's pretty tight. I'm gonna leave it there for now. And if I need to adjust that more, I can adjust it more, but for right now, that's where I'm going to put it. I have to tighten this bolt down, then I go back underneath, tighten that bottom nut, tighten that back up, and then we're done. Snug that up. Let me go back underneath, do that one. Running, no squealing. started right up. I didn't mention earlier, but the battery light on the dash was on. Now it's not, it's off. You see this is a second belt back here. There's actually two belts on this in this car. So I'm going to hook my battery analyzer up, check my battery and charging system, make sure we're charging okay. That's it for the 2008 Hyundai Elantra. Needed a new belt. Here's the old belt. Well, what's left of it. Not a whole lot, but what happened to it? I don't know. This is pretty worn. It's not cracked or dry rotted, but it looks pretty worn and pretty shiny. So I didn't find anything wrong with any of the pulleys. It's really kind of tough to misalign these pulleys. It's not like a power steering pump where you can press the pulley on and it can be out of alignment with the other pulleys. It's just crankshaft, water pump, alternator. There's really no forward and back adjustment on them at all. Water pump pulley felt fine. It wasn't loose or anything. It feels good. I don't feel any bearing problem in it. Same with the alternator. Everything feels good. So I'm not sure what happened with it, but fixed. Battery's good. Drained the battery, of course, but checking it out with the tester, everything looks good. So ready to go. Not very hard to do. If you have this problem or need to change your belt for your alternator on your 08, I'm sure it's other years as well, Hyundai Elantra, I hope it helps you out. If you like the videos, subscribe below. Thanks for watching.